Hello, it's Sean. Today I'm going to be working on some terrain. I've cut some pink foam. I used caulk to stick it together. I let it dry, and now I'm going to do some texturing of it. My plan is to have this look like it belongs in some caves, so I'm going to use a mixture. I've got, this is drywall spackle, a little bit of Elmer's glue, and some black paint. I'm going to spread it around on here and let it dry, and then I'll paint it up black and let it do some dry brushing. As you can see, I've got several different shapes and sizes of stuff. This is for 28 millimeter. It'll probably work fine for 15 as well, maybe 6 if I stretch it a little bit, but for sure it's going to work for 28 and 15. The game that this is specifically being made for is Relicblades. You play on a 2x2 board, so I'll make a board for the cave as well, and we'll see how this turns out in the end. It's just a simple project, not super expensive, but it should give me a nice little bit of terrain for a 2x2 board to play that game on. So I've already got my mix mixed up, so I'm going to start spreading it around on these, and we'll see how it turns out. I've completed covering my foam structures with the mix of drywall spackle and Elmer's glue and black paint, and I like how they look. It's a nice texture on these. Let's see. And now as I'm going to paint them just basic black, I use inexpensive paint from Walmart. This is Apple Barrel brand, just black. I'm going to go over all these and then I'll dry brush them. One reason I mix the paint into the spackle is that if they get chipped, if you do it with white, if they chip a little bit, then you're going to have that white exposed on the models on your table. But with doing it with that black, if it gets chipped, unless it goes all the way down to the pink, then it's going to be this nice gray color, so it's not as big of a deal. These are for being used on a table, so they get beat up a little bit. So it just helps to keep them looking decent on the tabletop. You don't have that white showing through as much as you would after you've used them for a number of games. So here we go, just painting black on these. Well, I've got all these pieces painted black, and they're ready to be dry brushed. I have a variety of colors here that I'm going to use. I think all these are Apple Barrel. I've got pewter gray, granite gray, and then I've got some browns as well. I've got territorial beige, light mocha, and khaki. So I'm going to just do start with the darker gray, move to the lighter gray, and then onto the browns. Kind of do a little bit of each color, so it gives some variety to it. I'm not going to do it all with the gray. I've seen that done before. I've done that before, and it just kind of makes the table a little bit too monochromatic. maybe is the right word. Kind of just not very diverse. So I'm gonna mix up the colors a little bit and see how it turns out. So to dry brush, I've just got a paper towel and a nice big paintbrush. This is big pieces of terrain, so you don't gotta use a small brush. I won't clean it out between colors. I'm gonna do probably 2 pieces with each color before I move on to the next color, and we'll see how it turns out. Alright, well, I've finished dry brushing these rock outcroppings that are going to be for my Cavern board. I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. I don't know if you can really see the colors in the video, but maybe you can. So on the table, it's not just going to be black and gray. There's some browns in here. I thought about adding some reds, but I think that might be a little bit too much, so I'm good with how this is. I might try to find some brightly colored lichen or different small plants that I can stick on here. Maybe something that looks like some mushrooms or fungi. That might be neat for a cave. But I've just got a variety of different shapes stacked up. I use caulk on this pink foam. The caulk I let it dry. Once it's dry, then I mixed up some drywall spackle, some Elmer's glue, and some black paint. Rub that on to a nice texture, and then I've just painted it black and then dry brushed it. I think 5 different colors I've used on these. This is a nice flat piece. It's gonna let me bridge some pieces that are kind of further apart. Adds a little bit of depth to the board so people can go underneath it, and it gets it up high enough that you're still have a nice stretch across to get over some stuff, and I can still have one on the bottom if I want to have something there as well. So depending on how big your table is and how much time you want to put into this, you can make lots of different kinds and sizes. I've kind of tried to put steps on all of them so that models can climb, but I've left places like over here it's a little bit harder to get up top. You can make them as tall or as short as you want. I use 1-inch pink foam. You can get different sizes, maybe a 1/4 inch or something thinner if you want shallower tiers, or if you want nice big levels, you can use a 2-inch or cut them closer so that there's not quite as many steps. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. My goal for this was just a 2x2 board because this is for the game Relicblades, which is played on a 2x2 board. So I don't have a ton. I probably have more than what I really need for a 2x2 board, but it's never a problem to have a little bit extra. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this and the other projects that I work on, you can subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.